Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back at it again. We're going to be talking about the term diatonic. You may have heard it before. You may have seen it before. You might just not know exactly what that means. So let's talk about that today. Let's go. Okay, so first and foremost, guys, when you see this term diatonic or you see any other term like that, don't get discouraged. Don't get, don't be afraid of it because it most likely means something very simple. It's just a very fancy name for it. So diatonic basically means if you see a diatonic scale, right? If you hear a diatonic scale, that basically means just using the notes within the scale. And if you've been following for any length of time, you know we played the major scale before, and you know the notes that are involved inside of the major scale. So we have 7 notes inside of the major scale. So if we played a C major scale, that's a diatonic scale. We're using the notes inside of the scale. Now, if I were to play, if I were to play a scale like that, which is really not a scale, I played a note outside of that key. So I played the F sharp. That is not inside of the key of C major. So that's really basically, in a nutshell, what that means. If you see diatonic, I have a lesson out that says that's called Diatonic Intervals. So all that was using the notes inside of the scale. I was using a C major scale, and we were talking about the spacing in between each note inside of a major scale. So it's literally just allotting you to the notes inside of the scale, those 7 notes, the C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, or depending on what scale you're doing, or what key you're in, doesn't matter. B flat works the same. If I'm doing a B flat major scale, it's a diatonic B flat major scale. All right, so that's really all that means. And you can think about diatonic and chromatic kind of being opposite of each other. So the chromatic scale will be 12 notes. The diatonic scale will be 7 notes, well, including the octave, because 12 notes, including every single note inside of the scale, going from one octave to another is 12 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we're back home. All right, so I just walked that up chromatically from C. So the number of notes inside of that is 12 notes. Okay, so that's the difference between diatonic and chromatic. If you ever hear that term, don't be afraid of it. Now you know what it means. Now when I say it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that leads me to my next exercise. So I want to do diatonic triads. Okay, I know I've done diatonic intervals, which were just the spacing in between 2 notes inside of the scale, but I want to do diatonic triads. And if you've been following for any length of time, we've been playing and messing around with the modes. We've been really digging into that and really making sure we have a better understanding of what the modes are. So that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be basing that on the modes. All right, so if we're in C major, diatonic triad, just using the notes inside the major scale. All right, so just a triad. Take off the diatonic for right now. So now you know what that means. Okay, so a diatonic triad, we have C, E, and G. All right, so if we went to the next mode, which will be our Dorian mode, it would be D, F, A, okay, which is a minor triad. You have the root note, it's a minor third from there, and the 5th, okay? So that's a minor triad. But I'm still inside of the scale. I'm still within the notes of the scale, so this is still diatonic, okay? So the next triad will be the E, all right, starting on the 3rd note, So it'll be E, a 3rd from there, and then a 5th from there. So we have E, G, and then B, which also comes out to be a minor triad. Okay, so the next one, when we're going up the scale, we did C, we did D, we did E, now we're doing F. Okay, so now we're on F. All right, so the triad for that will be F, A, C. All right, we're just taking the 3 notes, all right, the 1, the 3, and the 5 of the scale that we're going to be playing, of the modes. If you have any trouble understanding that right now, just go back to the modes tutorial and you'll get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. But for a brief synopsis of what the triad is, or what the scale is, so I'm using the 1st note, 3rd note, and 5th note of that scale, of that scale degree, which is the Lydian scale. All right, so all of these I'm grabbing from scales. All right, so the first one I'm grabbing from the Ionian, the next one I'm grabbing from the Dorian, the next one I'm grabbing from the Phrygian, Lydian. So the 1, 3, 5 of every scale. Just wanted you guys to be aware of that. Okay, so the next one we're on, we did F. Now we need to do G. Okay, so G. All right, so that would also be a major triad. So they have the root, the major third, and the fifth. All right, so, but we're just taking it from the scale. That's literally all we're doing. All right, the next one will be A minor triad. Okay, so you have A, C, and E. All right, so that just happens to be a minor. Okay, the last one. All right, that's also a minor. You have the root for the last scale, which is the Locrian scale. So you have the root. I'm pretty high up on the fretboard here, but you have the root, the minor third, and then a flat 5 for that last one. All right, so not a perfect fifth. All right, you flatting that 5 for the last diatonic triad for the Locrian scale. Okay, so all together you'll have all of those scales, well, all of the triads. All right, it's a very good exercise too. E minor triad, F major triad, G major triad, A minor triad, A minor flat 5, B minor flat 5 triad. Okay, so there's another way to play this so you're not shifting all the way up the fretboard, but we'll go over that in another lesson. I just wanted you guys to get the actual concept of what these triads are. All right, what the diatonic means and what these how to play these triads with the second. Well, if I didn't over the fingering, this is 2, 1, 5. I'm playing for the 2, 1, 4. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of. I'm thinking of the fifth note. First, fourth, third. All right, so the major I'm playing that way. The minor I'm playing 1, 4, 3. Okay, so there's different ways to play this, like I said before, different positions and everything like that. I've gone over that before, that there's several ways to play a scale or a triad or anything. There's several ways to play it, so don't get stuck in playing one way. And we'll go over that in another lesson. So if you have any questions, you already know what to do. You guys already know what to do. Now you know the meaning. Hopefully now you know the meaning of diatonic. All right, so diatonic triads, diatonic scale, diatonic intervals, diatonic arpeggios, doesn't matter. All right, same thing. We're using the notes inside of the scale. Okay, so I hope you got a good understanding of that. Like I said, you know what to do. Make sure your notes are coming out clean, clear, and precise, and play this as an exercise. It's a pretty good exercise playing that back and forth. Okay, so in the next lesson, we'll go over diatonic triads. All right, another way to play that. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you.